Hey,
how's it going?
good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Maude Bless America. Couldn't be happier than to have none other than the CEO of Silverhawk Aviation right here in Lincoln, Nebraska, John Geary, in the studio.
I'm honored, privileged. Can't wait.
JG, couldn't be happier to have you. Thank you very much for making the time. Now, we were just chatting before we got going. You were going to bring a rubber chicken. Now, was that a rubber and a chicken? Was that a rubber? What?
If you can picture the movie Click with Adam Sandler, and there's the dog and he's got a duck stuffed animal. They had one of those. I almost brought that.
Well, I've got a stuffed duck up there. I used to have a Labrador.
See?
He loved it.
I just thought bringing a tub of
Vaseline. You have a Labrador.
I do. I don't have a rubber chicken.
But you have a tub of Vaseline?
No, that's why I need to get that too.
It's going to be quite a haul. You know, there's Costco over there. You could have gone and done the whole thing.
It would have been funny.
And you could have had a goddamn flock of stuffed ducks.
Just imagine
or chickens.
We did that in college of like, all right, you lost this bet. You got to go to Publix and you got to pick out 3 of the most awkward things ever. It could be duct tape, a cucumber, but you got to do it. Go have fun, wait in line and check out. So yes, that would have been me.
Would you have filmed yourself
No.
buying the 3 most awkward items that you know?
No, but we would all be there. We would watch.
Well, if I could figure out how to make Maude Bless America remote access and have a portable deal, we could do
a little GoPro or something.
A GoPro.
What are the glasses? The Meta glasses. You can go and experience.
Do you have those?
I don't know.
You going to get some for the kids?
No, but I forget. Was it you or Sam? Speaking of, they have ski goggles now that like I can see where you guys are on the mountain. It tracks your speed. It tracks all that stuff. And I was like, that'd be neat.
So you just missed the last ski trip.
No.
And once again, our mutual friend D-Baby is king of the mountain.
That's awesome.
But as we were coming down the very last hill, we'll come back to that hack. I did happen to mention at the top of my lungs, you're out of runway. And the snow ended and it was concrete. And I can't show it to the audience because I don't know how to do that. But in the meantime, suffice to say, he did not stop in sufficient time, came off the end of the runway or the snow, hit concrete, crashes, burns, but he did manage to hang on to his glass of champagne, earning 3 years running king of the mountain.
That's good for him.
It is good for him. But had you been there, well, I'm not throwing you under the bus, but you did kind of mess it up not joining this year.
Yes, I know.
Everybody missed you. You would have had a big time.
I would have.
And you might have been in position to be king of the mountain. Now, as it turned out, D-Baby took off. I had to follow him. It was dark. He made one turn. Not sure what happened, but Hunter was left in charge of Sam, who all I heard, in fact, we were sitting there talking, waiting on him. I heard Hunter saying, Sam, left. No, left. Sam, left. The other left. So it was pretty good quality comedy. Maybe not the level of the chicken and the Vaseline at Hy-Vee grocery store, but
yeah.
So let's talk commitment. You're going to go skiing next year?
Yeah.
With the boys?
I think we're done having kids. Won't have that excuse.
What do you mean you think?
I thought
so after this next one's born, you're going to get the snip?
I want to. Oh, and I don't want to. But I want to be done having kids.
How do you know? You're having a girl. You have 2 boys. You're having a girl.
Yeah.
How do you know you aren't sitting there thinking, damn, this is a nice looking family. Let's have 4 so we've got even sides.
I'll apologize.
How do we know you're not having twins?
I think we know that.
Okay.
Assuming the all the scans, the ultrasounds, all that is accurate. Pretty sure.
So we're just having a Nuno.
Yeah, just the one.
So keep going.
One and done.
But you might have another.
Having 3 kids, man, I'm already scared.
Of what?
Just the work and the energy. I'm at least happy. This is where I love my boys. You've met them. They are so much work. I come home and they're all boy. They're running through the house. Daddy's home. Let's wrestle.
But you know, that's all kids.
Beaten. I know, but I'm hoping that like this one being the female as well. Sorry, kids, I can't wrestle. Got to do tea party with Matea. I don't know what her name is yet.
Baby Matea is going to be right there running through the house with the boys.
I know. She will be jumping on my head.
And at some point, the boys will be having the tea party with her. And that'll be, in certain respects, maybe it'll be a good thing. Maybe it'll be abbreviated. Maybe it will go longer. They'll discover they too like having tea parties.
All of it. But okay, so now going back to the ski party and kids, not kids, we've talked about this a lot. The time for other vacations and getaways is difficult with young kids.
It depends. Do you take the kids with you?
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
do you have a nanny?
Well, there's the family trips. We just went on one, but then there's the boys trips. And as you know, my wife, there's a lot more boys trips than there are girls trips.
Excuse me, what does your wife have to do with that?
She just doesn't do that. So I'm the one who's always, John's gone again.
She's a little mini accountant as far as your vacation. Oh, by the way, you can vape. We're down here in the basement.
That's all right. I appreciate that.
What do you mean that's all right?
Well, then I'm going to cough and then you're going to bring it up.
Well, you already cough, whether you're vaping or not. So let's go to the topic of your vaping.
Yeah, let's do it.
I've known you 8 years.
Yeah, something like that.
You've never not vaped.
Yeah.
Let's go back in time. The whole story about vaping. My favorite story, we are taking off runway 25 out of Eagle Vale, and out of the corner of my eye, there's this cloud of smoke coming out of what looks like the bulkhead vent on the front of the plane.
Yeah.
I almost aborted the takeoff because I thought we had smoke in the cockpit.
I don't know why you didn't start shutting down engines. And
well, how is it that you can exhale so much smoke?
Big lungs.
Big lungs.
Yeah.
Well, so we're back to it. So you can vape. Now, in those 8 years, we have had multiple events. Well, we've had a wedding. We've had 2 kids. Those are just 3 off the top of my head. There were a couple of other ones. When you turned 30, what was the other one? I mean, at this point in 8 years, there's basically been one event per year where you were going to quit, and yet we still haven't.
Here we go.
But now, all of a sudden, you're getting stage fright, literally and figuratively. We're not going to vape on Maude Bless America?
No need to.
You do.
I could go 1 hour.
You know you could. The one time
I'll run out of here after the show's over, but 1 hour.
Well, I'm empowering you to go ahead and have a vape. I remind you, the one time on the chairlift, you never actually had a fresh breath of air. It was vape the whole way up. You were like the little vaping engine that could.
Aside from maybe some conversation.
There wasn't much. You were too worried about so much fresh air.
I also noticed you don't have a drink.
It's dry March. It was supposed to be dry January, dry February. None of those stuck. So now it's dry March.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pain in the ass having to start that. I notice you're not having dry March.
I'm having fun.
As well you should.
Yeah. It's 4 o'clock.
So this is the Horse Whisperer bourbon. That stuff's good.
Yeah. Goes down nicely.
I'm having bourbon envy right now.
Yeah. You can have a glass.
But then I'd have to start over and go. I'd screw up March, and then I have to go to April.
What if you just added a couple of days to the start of April?
If you're doing it, you got to do the month. You got to be married to the month.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we're back to this whole topic of kids.
Yeah.
We may be done at 3. You want to get the snip snip. Now,
I don't want the snip snip though.
Well, is it you that don't want the snip snip, or is it Kelcey, your wife?
I should clarify the reason for not wanting the snip snip has nothing to do with more kids or not more kids. I just don't want to go and have my, get shaved down there and get shots down there.
You already shaved down there. You told me once that's why you do it. It makes it look bigger.
I don't want other people to shave though. I just want to shave.
Well, you can arrive pre-shaved.
I hear they still shave. What you do at home's not good enough. They gotta.
Who did you hear that from?
The last person that just got their snip done was like, I tried to pre-shave as much as I could, and they still had me in stirrups and spotlights, and I don't want to go through that.
Your wife's a nurse. I'm sure she can get you properly shorn.
Shorn, yeah.
So that's it. I mean, that's the whole deal. You just don't want to have to risk a little shaving incident.
No.
I mean, seriously, get you up in the morning, a little shaving cream, a little swish, and it's done. Rinse her off, and away you go.
I'd go get a Brazilian wax prior. It's just the next
at Hy-Vee.
Yeah. It's just the next part where they actually get you up at this, and this is where, again, I don't know if people are just messing with me.
There's no stirrups.
The stories they vary wildly. I mean, like,
so what's the wildest one?
People talking about like there was a big rubber elastic band because his thing was so big, and so it had to. It's not, no kids watch this show, right?
Of course not.
On the rubber band to go around his stomach to hold everything up.
Holding his stomach up, not his pecker down.
Yeah. Holding the pecker down.
No.
I agree.
Now that one's cute.
Yeah.
But that is, again, we can dispense with that. Let's go to your next wildest anti-snip stip story.
So everyone, this is universal. Everyone I've talked to that's had it done, they just talk about the smell.
Oh,
like, that's the worst part.
The cauterizing aroma is not pleasing.
And then when it goes into your mind and you start realizing what I'm smelling, you're just like, I don't want that. And I also don't want cauterizing down there. I just don't.
But you've had Rocky Mountain oysters.
I don't know if I ever have.
How long have you lived in Nebraska?
10 years, 11 years.
And you've never had Rocky Mountain oysters?
No. Because I know what they are.
So?
I don't know.
They have nut fries all across this part of the country.
I probably have. What's that little
as long as you don't think about it, they're
just eat it. Yeah. Tastes like chicken.
Well, a little more chewy.
What's the restaurant bar? It's South Bend between here.
Oh yeah, around the bend.
Yeah.
Up in South Bend, Nebraska.
They always big signs.
Big signs. So you're worried that they're going to donate your testicular produce to around the bend nut fry? But, for the record, they don't cut your balls out. They just cut a little piece of the vas deferens out.
It's a little bit more than I want cut.
So you do want more kids?
No, I don't. I think we're done.
So Kelcey,
I don't want more kids.
So when baby Matea's born, what about Kelcey getting her tubes tied?
Yeah,
have we had the conversation? Do you want me to broach the subject with her?
Sure.
Well, that ought to be interesting.
Yeah.
How well do you think that's going to go for both of us? I'll get away with it because she'll eventually heave me out. How's that going to go for you?
I think she's done too. If that's the long version of where we're going, I think we're both done, but also we're still young and in love, and who knows, right?
So you like the idea of living dangerous? It's like sexual vaping.
Yes. I should clarify for when Kelcey watches this. This is not my thoughts. This is just what I've heard. The other rationale of not getting snipped of what if she leaves me, or what if she dies tomorrow, and in the future I want to go and spread my seed more.
You're spreading more demon. You're spreading your demon seed. What are the chances of her? Well, if she's keeping track of your guy trip versus family trip, you might already have a foot out the door.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, not really a foot out the door so much as her foot in your butt getting you out the door.
I also joke, and this is where I should have just gone on the trip. Is she really going to leave me when she's 5 months pregnant? Probably not. She's not. She would not be hot on the eligible bachelorette out there. 5 months pregnant again. All right, now I'm definitely foot out the door.
Yeah, babe. Ixnay, have a vape. Take a deep breath. And let's regroup.
Yes.
I'm waiting.
I'm good. Go ahead.
I am. So
it's a funny conversation though.
Well, it is, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
My wife will get involved when we have dinner after this. And I'll just forewarn you, be prepared. She'll say, well, you could just go rub out a couple of loads and freeze it.
Yeah.
So we have that. Then there'll be the issue. Well, what if there's some health issue with one of the kids and you decide you want to have another one?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Of course.
Freeze it.
I don't want the turkey baster method, the good old fashioned method.
Well, then we're back to the original question. Why don't we just go for 4?
But I don't want 4.
Well, you realize you're talking in circles.
We're just keeping all options open. AKA, I'm scared of a needle and don't want to go under the knife.
You won't even see the needle.
As simple as it is, I know.
And you're awake the whole time.
I don't want to be awake.
Well, they give you the stuff so you can just kind of be just happy boy. You can be more happy than your usual self. So you were the Silverhawk CEO.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means that
What's Silverhawk? What do you do for him?
Yeah.
How'd you get there?
Yeah.
Give us the JG background.
5-minute spiel.
10-minute
spiel.
You can have a vape.
I'm okay, really. It's last on that, although you probably will bring it up 10 more times. I don't love that I vape, right? Like it's
oh, child, please.
I love vaping because it's an addiction, but like I don't love you're going through the airlines or whatever and you can't vape for 6 hours, and I hate that I need it.
So before we do that, what's the point of them having a prohibition on vaping? If in fact it is water vapor, it's not like the device with minimal ignition is going to cause any sort of issue with the aircraft. So what's the big deal? Because you
Oh,
can, and somebody that's
why
smoking
not?
a regular cigarette would
Yeah,
feel butthurt, deprived.
that's where
I mean, it's a
even
stupid argument that they have.
I know. So this has nothing to do with that, but like just personal beliefs. Like even if I'm around someone who I know doesn't mind, even if they smoke themselves, I don't want to smoke in your face, right? Like that just seems rude. And so I would get it if I was a non-smoker and I'm sitting next to someone vaping, I would be upset by that.
All right. Well, that's an interesting perspective.
But I have no idea if there's
So you think the airline is paternalistically protecting those non-vapors
yeah.
from vapors?
I mean, we're still a minority, right? Like more people don't smoke than smoke something. I think. I would assume.
I don't. Where'd you come up with that?
I'm just guessing. There's
You just made that up.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
But I'm just again, if it was a smoking, and it used to be right, you used to be able to smoke on airplanes.
Yeah.
And so there is no safety concern of that. Like I'm sure it's just the masses prefer non-smoking airplanes. Even as a smoker, I don't like going to like smoke-filled casino rooms. I love the non-smoking casino rooms. Like I don't. There was a restaurant in Florida or somewhere that still allows smoking, and there's a smoking section, but it's indoors and it wafts everywhere.
Oh, it does. I mean, that's the big deal. I had somebody suggest, why don't we put a deal here so we could have cigars during filming? And there is no good mechanism to extricate the smoke. But I will say, having been around you, you get a little bit of aroma of whatever deal you're puffing on, but it doesn't stick to you. I mean, it's not like if you walk into a bar, you walk out there like you yourself were smoking like a chimney. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's better.
But it's not better for you.
It's not better. It's better for you, I still argue.
Actually,
I know there's the popcorn lung.
All the cardiologists and radiologists will tell you that's a fallacy.
We'll see. I think that's big tobacco. That's just big tobacco trying to scare you away because it's obviously taken away from their business.
I think big tobacco, that's the big push on Zyn, giving people 2 cans for the price of 1 and all that. They know that people are going to get away from tobacco, so they're going on nicotine in the form of one of those little pouches, and you can dispose of it, and it's not as messy or nasty looking. You don't have a spit cup like the guys that chew tobacco. I mean, it's kind of you got to give them credit. That is long-term strategic planning with a vengeance.
Absolutely. Agreed.
So, CEO Silverhawk. So give us the background.
Yes.
You're not native to Nebraska. You're a California boy.
Yeah. My 5-10 minute spiel. So from Bakersfield, California, there's nothing out there. The only Bakersfield, actually, from a size wise, and I haven't looked this up in a while because I've been back in 20 years, but
it's all about size, which we just learned earlier.
Size does matter.
Yeah, clearly. And so you need that rubber band to hold it down while you're getting your vasectomy.
Yeah.
One for each side.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. But Bakersfield was very similar size to Lincoln. It's probably grown. It's oil and ag, right in the bottom of the San Joaquin Valley. Aside from that, it's like top 5 worst air quality in the world. It's just a pass-through city. The only saving grace.
Why is it such bad air quality?
It sits at the bottom of that bowl, and so all the smog just collects there. The air from LA goes over the mountains and just collects there.
Wow.
So
okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's horrible. I think it is always like top 3. But you're 2 hours from anything you want to do. So like 2 hours from the ocean, 2 hours from good fly fishing, 2 hours from good skiing, 2 hours from LA.
So what's the skiing? Is that Big Bear outside of LA, or is it up in Mammoth?
It's the closest, biggest one. That's probably a 5-hour drive.
Okay.
But there was, I forget what it's called, the one we always went to, 1.5 2 hours.
Wow.
And it would be an equivalent to, I can't think of some of when you're first driving up the interstate there in Colorado, but
Winter Park.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
It's awesome.
Mary Jane.
Yeah. Great fly fishing, of course. And so, anyways, lived there.
So it was a good place to grow up.
It was fine. Got out of there, went to Daytona Beach, Florida. Got my pilot's license, got my degree. Loved it.
What's your degree in?
Aeronautical science. I had to think, here's where I'm glad. I think I have no regrets in life so far. But man, looking back, as I'm still paying on student loans, and I think where I am today, I don't know if that degree actually helped me do anything. This is a knock on college, but just.
Well, you got a pilot's license. I mean, you could have done that without your aeronautical science, but.
I know. And I learned a lot.
So what aeronautical science? I mean, you're literally just half physicist learning about Bernoulli's principle and
It's
creating lift.
very science heavy.
What else did they have you studying?
So yeah, 2 years of physics, all the math, which I love. So that was the fun part. There's a whole bunch of aviation safety, aviation law, aviation this and that. My meters in meters in meteorology.
So you also could have gone, for example, into airport administration.
For sure. Yeah,
okay.
That would be a very appropriate career field. Also by default. So to be a dispatcher, not that I was ever going to do this, but all the classes I had to take are the same classes you have to take to be a airline dispatcher. It's like that was another perk. It was a lot of different feathers of meteorology, air traffic control. Like that's all included in that. But yeah, depending on what I wanted to do, because I had no idea what I wanted to do, it was just
you literally went all the way across the country to be on the ocean, Atlantic Ocean, not the Pacific. Yeah. So why'd you decide to, what university is there? How'd you decide on that?
I was a quiet boy in high school. I just, my mom laid down the law, so I didn't party a lot. I didn't do anything. So Daytona Beach sounded very fun at 18 when you're figuring out what to do with your adult life.
Yeah, I like that.
But no, I literally, I thought about, so all growing up, and I mispronounced it most of my younger life, but I want to be a marine biologist. I used to say marine biologist.
I thought you told me you pronounced it marine biologist.
Yeah. That it changed on the day.
Okay.
Love animals. There's science in that. Math teacher. I thought about that for a while. Like that again. I love math. And so as you're taking the SAT, which is another thing I learned out here. I think ACT is the more common
one. I think.
Never heard of it before I came here. SAT was the only test that they told us about. But anyways, taking the PSAT. And there's all the boxes at the bottom of your interests.
Yeah.
And I'm checking your science, your technology, your math, like things that I like as a 15-year-old kid. And then you start getting all the brochures from the various colleges.
Right.
And one of them was from Embry-Riddle, was the college I went to. And they talked about aviation and there's engineering and all these things. And I was like, well, shit, yeah, that sounds, I get to go live by the beach. It's spring break capital of the world. And I can do some sort of math or flying and you're seeing the stuff. And I'd never flown, in a small plane before that.
Okay. Wow.
So it was probably senior year. For my birthday, my parents got me the private pilot ground school course.
Okay.
It's like an introductory. Let's see if you like it. I worked at a call center. I was doing random calls for, will you raise money for this whatever committee, for this whatever, worst job ever. But it paid,
I didn't know you did that.
Oh, it was horrible, man. It was horrible, but I like to talk. And it paid, I think starting pay, and this is back in 2005, was like $9 an hour. And depending on how many dollars you brought in, it was a moving scale. So like if your monthly average was your top 10, like there was months that I would make $18 an hour as a 15, 16-year-old kid.
Wow.
And yeah, but it was still the worst job ever.
So hang on.
Yeah.
Before we leave the subject.
Yeah.
So you were literally dialing for dollars, getting people to contribute money to a charitable entity. Mm-hmm. What was out of every 100 calls you made, how many actually would talk with you?
So here's the funny, it's the same script
for everybody. Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, there's probably 10 different organizations that you would call on. But also like, depending on how well you did, there were some that were better givers than others. So you wanted to work your way into these top three. And one of them, I can't think of it right now.
When you say better giver, you were calling up and down the phone book for random individuals. You weren't calling you were calling on behalf of organizations.
Correct.
And
yeah, you're calling random people. You're sitting in front of the screen, prompt comes up and it just fills in name and what they last gave as your starting ask. And so sometimes you sit there and it's Matt Maude. I see last time you gave $100 to the Republican National Committee. Would you be interested in doing that again? And then if they said, no, I understand. What about $50? You're lowering it. But both there, and I forget, there's a Christian one that I can't think of it. Anyways, you'd sit there and you're sitting there. Most of them are, it's $100, $500. Remember, I'm a 16-year-old kid. And for this Christian one in particular, like you'd be sitting there and all of a sudden it'd be, you're just droning through it. And you're like, hey, Matt, I see last time you gave $50,000. Would you like to give $50,000 again? And you get someone to say yes to that. And it instantly, so like by the day, my $9 if I got one of those, making $28 an hour for the rest of that month because I got this one donation.
Okay.
But it was horrible. But you want it, and this is the better you did,
the more you made.
Put you into the better call.
So you made more money, but then you also got into a higher. So out of every 100 calls you made, how many hung up on you?
Yeah, not very many would just straight up hang up. But there was a lot that was like, no, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested. No, that was so and so did that last year, and we're divorced.
So maybe you got a 5% penetration rate just to even have a conversation beyond no.
Yes, and again, different
time.
I don't know. They're everywhere. But the
radio station KLOV.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that I would bet was a 1 in 5. You'd get yes.
Wow.
Christians love to give money.
You're Christian. I don't see you giving money.
I'm not an organized religion goer. I don't tithe. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there. You're 15, 16.
Yeah.
You're going into your senior year. You're 17 going on 18, and your parents bought a ground school course.
Yes. So that was my yes. I'm doing that because I saved up to help do my flying lessons.
Okay.
So I started doing my flying lessons. Instantly loved it. As you know, most people I know, you go up, you get to fly an airplane. You think it's the coolest thing ever. And so I did. And I was like, oh yeah, this is it. This is going to be, I chose correctly. And it's in Daytona Beach, Florida. Like, this is going to be awesome.
So did you start off, what, a 172?
Yeah. Yep.
Or a Cherokee 160?
Yep. Just the Cessna 172. Finished my
ubiquitous
license.
You finished it before you started?
Correct.
Yep. Oh boy. So you pounded through it.
I did. That was one of those, I was either going to school or working or going to flight lessons.
And generally Bakersfield, despite the poor air quality,
360 days a year of sun. It's a desert.
Yeah.
It rains less than an inch every year.
Did you ever, did some of the ground smog, everything else?
Oh yeah.
You had to learn, did you end up doing some instrument approaches?
No.
So it wasn't that dense.
No, not that dense. It's just smoggy. Yeah. Hazy. But yeah, finished my private pilot's license, went off to college, loved every minute of it.
So were you also, as part of your curriculum, were you also flying? So you went on, got your instrument rating, commercial rating, and then just kept accumulating hours?
Correct. Those are all credit hours. Same. I think you know me. This is where, like, if I like something, if I'm doing it, it's all I do.
I would say you're all in. Yeah.
I've always hated school. We can come back to that somehow, as loop into kids as well. School's boring for the most part.
Yeah, I would agree.
If my option, so I went out summer before I actually started my first fall term, just to get a head start. All about that. Start flying sooner, go out to Florida sooner. And I busted through all my ratings, including instructor, in the first year.
Wow.
I want to say by the second summer. And again, that's part of your curriculum. So like 3 days a week, you have a flight block, and that's just the minimum. You can always elect to do more. So of course I did. And so yeah, bust out everything. And then again, like now I want to keep flying.
So
yeah.
All right. So hang on. So you show up, you have your pilot.
Yeah.
Did you do commercial and then instrument, or vice versa?
Instrument, then commercial. Yeah.
So from there, did you do a multi-engine?
Correct.
And then obviously multi-engine instrument, and then CFI. So what, and then CFII?
And as we met, MEI as well. Yeah.
Wow. So how many hours was that? Were you close to your ATP by that point?
Yeah.
Because then you're also instructing that because you're sitting right seat. That's cranking hours for you toward that ATP.
Correct. Yeah. When I left Florida to come here, I already had 3,700 hours, 3,600 hours, something like that.
In 4 years?
Yeah. I stayed one extra year after just the flight instructor before I got my first real job.
Still at 700 hours of flying a year. That's a lot of. That's a lot of flying.
Again.
Wow.
If there were the classes in this, I hope this doesn't sound braggy. It's not. I hate school to begin with. If there were classes that I'm naturally good at, any math and science, which was a majority of my classes,
thankfully,
had no attendance, mandate, I wouldn't go. I'd show up for the tests. I'd turn in the assignments. That was all I needed to do. I would be flight instructor. I mean, it's both making money and building hours, which is the only thing I cared about at the time. And so, yeah, I would stack my whole semester where I'd only have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I might or might not go all day. And so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like I'm instructing just 8 hours a day, nonstop.
Wow.
It was fun. I loved it. I did a short stint. There was a IASA.
What's that?
It's the European FAA.
Oh, okay.
Flight school that, again, both from the amount of sunny days out in Florida as well, and just cheap. It's very expensive to learn how to fly in Europe. And so
right.
they'd
fly over and they do a concentrated,
it's that
like a 3-week course, get their private pilot.
It's that, which is amazing. But as the instructor, like I also loved it. Like I had a student prepaid, all he wants to do, he or she, like
is fly
3 weeks. So like, yeah, you can get me in 8 hours just this day, do it. So it was fun.
So then as CFII, would you then, if they were your student, were you able to do their check ride, or was there somebody else? And you do, like, if there were 3 of you guys as instructors, you do the other 2 guys check rides, and they do, one of those 2 would do your students check ride.
So it was like when you did yours, where you just submit to the local FSDO and they bring out the examiner. I'm laughing. $100 Dale is what we called him. It was the local
$100 Dale,
and it was $500. I don't know what it is, but you have to pay the examiner to come out and do the check
right.
ride. $100 Dale. He was this guy that this is his retirement gig. He did airline flying for a while. He'd show up again. It's Florida. He'd show up in his flip flops and
like you know, first time you showed up when we were flying the King Air,
big hat, and he did fail people. For anyone watching, of like, man, did he just let any pilot pass? He did fail people, but the joke was like, if you were a decent pilot, like he's just the good old boy that's sitting there, and it's $100 Dale. You pay your $100 fine, you get your ticket in the mail. Like it's just how it was.
Wow.
It was fun. Yeah. So anyways, did that. This would have been 2011 when I was all done with that. And there was no, so I did all this and I still did not know like what I wanted my career to be. Airlines never really spoke to me. I got about halfway through my MBA, love business, but had no clue where, I'm 23, no clue what life was going to bring me. And it was a bad time to be a pilot. Like this after 2008, you could not get a job anywhere.
Right.
This is also back to for anyone who didn't know, like if back then, if you were a starting co-pilot for United Airlines, you might make $28,000 as your first officer. And so it was,
you couldn't afford to live.
No. And you were also, but you were desperate. There were so many pilots and not enough jobs. And so you were desperate. And that's why that happened for so long. So anyways, started applying for jobs. The first couple of jobs that came up were either flying a Caravan for a FedEx feeder down in Texas, or a King Air for a air ambulance company in McCook, Nebraska. And I literally was one of those just like, which one I'm going to accept? I took the McCook, Nebraska one.
Twin engine as opposed to single.
It was that was the logic. Took the job, showed up in McCook, Nebraska, and I just remember again, and this is the censor, but like, what the fuck am I doing here? McCook, Nebraska, 23 years old, coming from Daytona Beach, Florida,
by way of Bakersfield, California.
7,500 people. There's nothing out there. I thought this is horrible. This is
I've died.
Yeah,
and I've not gone to heaven.
And it,
although once you get used to it, McCook's a pretty nice spot.
I love to visit it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And that's it.
Good point. Good point.
There's a couple of good places. No, it's fine. But again, just 23, you're I was used to the nightlife. I was surfing, I was fishing. there was 5 weeks of spring break there every year. It was amazing.
Right.
McCook's not that. And so I was committed.
Is that when you started vaping?
No, I was still smoking cigarettes back then. See?
Oh my God.
I haven't vaped the whole time.
Okay.
But I was committed of like, all right, I'm going to do this for a year.
I'm going to get the hours.
I'm never coming back to this state again. And I'm about at the end of my year. And I had joined a co-ed volleyball team with some of the hospital staff and everything. And met my now wife. She was a fill-in. And I saw her. She was a cute girl. I'm single. This town sucks. I'm just like, okay, maybe this town just got a little more fun. And so we started dating, and it was a blast.
So your first date was?
Yeah, we flew. We rented a 182, and we flew to Kearney, Grand Island, went to dinner. I rolled out all the red carpet. I'm not going to let this one get away.
So she loved it. Had she ever been in a plane before?
Probably not a small plane, I doubt.
So she thought you were pretty swishy being able to fly that.
I hope so, but and I know I've told you this before, like she played hard to get for months. She was the big fish in the small pond. That I was just,
and she made you work for it.
Absolutely.
You got to put in the work.
And so even if she was, I've never really asked her this, even if she was like, this is the coolest date ever. No, she didn't let on to that at all. Yeah, you're taking me to dinner. Cool. It happens to be in another town. Okay. But
so they had a 182 at the McCook Airport.
Yeah. I don't think it's still there.
But
yeah,
a few times I've been in there, I've never seen it. If it is.
So yeah, we dated.
So she didn't even, when you got back, say, "Wow, that was pretty neat." I've never been on a flying date before.
No.
Wow. You did have to put in the work.
Yeah, I probably got a peck on the cheek. Yeah, maybe we'll talk soon. That was it. She played hard to get for sure.
So you kept up with the volleyball just to keep sniffing after her.
I did, of course. Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah. We probably dated for a few months out there, and then she was going to school here at Bryan, getting her nursing degree. And I was like, cool, get me the hell out of here. I'll follow you anywhere right now. I just can't.
Oh, especially with that voice. Or the face. Can you please make the face for the camera?
I'll follow you anywhere right now. Is
that was it. But it just was a little more pathetic.
Well, so it was.
When you gave me the face, it was more pathetic than what I just saw you give the camera.
It was the desperation of, again, like
I went out of McCook, and by the way, you're kind of cute.
Is that like I'm having sex again? Like this is cool.
Whoa! What?
I'll follow you.
I thought she was not putting out. She was playing hard to get.
Yeah. We waited till marriage. Take that all back. You can edit this out later.
Oh yeah, you can count on me to edit.
So I followed her here. I had known the Silverhawk guys both we flew a cardiologist out twice a week back then.
To McCook. Silverhawk flew him. You.
So I met some of the guys. They'd sit there all day.
So would you? I mean, some of your air ambulance, you'd take them to Lincoln or something. Is that how you met them?
Both ways. Like I had been at Lincoln a few times, dropping off people, and I've met the pilots that flying the cardiologist out to McCook. And so I'd heard things about Silverhawk. Met some of the guys. Seemed fun. It was. I mean, there's now knowing it, but like there's other operations in town. But that was just I reached out of like, hey, I'm moving to Lincoln. You guys fly King Airs. I fly King Airs. It seems like a match made in heaven. And so I interviewed.
Was that your pitch? Like, guys, it's a match made in heaven.
More or less. And that, as you know me, this is the funny of both the interview too. So going back to like first officers making
28 at United.
I started at Silverhawk. I'm probably making about 60 grand a year at Life Team. Happy, like this is the best ever. And I'm following this lady here, and I go to the interview and they ask, and I'm telling this like, like 60 grand. Hopefully I can make similar. And the then owner, he laughed out loud in the interview of like, oh, we can't pay you anything like that here. And I was just like, oh, okay. And we're finishing the interview, and I get the job offer for $35,000. And I'm like,
so basically you went and said, Kelcey, you're worth 25 grand to me because this was what it is. Here's my delta.
Took it for her. I followed her here, and it was obviously not worthwhile, but man, what a gamble, right?
Wow. So were you flying right seat when you were with the air ambulance? Was that a solo operation?
No, we did two pilots too.
Two pilots?
Yeah. And then started here as captain as well. But yeah, started as captain of King Air. Still had I had no like
ambition.
Yeah. I'm just following this girl wherever, apparently. She was going to finish nursing school. We'll see where it goes. Like she had talked about traveling nurse for a little bit. Like maybe I'd go to the airlines. We'll just see. So it's probably a couple years now in at Silverhawk.
So this is about 2013.
So I started January 2015 at Silverhawk.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, a couple years in 2017, starting to get the itch. Kelcey's graduating. What are we going to do? Where are we going to go? It was a great job, but like, I don't know. It wasn't a career, right? Like being there at the time. And I remember being on a flight with my now business partner, and I'm just telling him this, I got between the both of us, 200,000 in student debt. Well, she's talking about maybe moving. I can't continue to live off this forever. We want to get married and have kids. And he was like, just bear with me. I got a plan. I think that you'd be good at this too. And we talked through him eventually wanting to sell off parts of the business. maybe we would run.
So was Mike the owner at the time?
He
was leading a
just
group getting
taken
ready to buy it.
over. I'm trying to think of exactly the timeline. He either just bought in, or he was just getting ready to. I think he had just bought in. So it was him and one other guy. And yeah, he's giving me the pitch of
stick around, stay with us.
Yes. And offered me some incentives to do so. And so I was like, well, sure. I made it this long. Why not? And then that did take forth for anyone who is listening. You know, Silverhawk sold parts of the business back in 2021, and it's just charter now. And that's when I bought in. And so, yeah, starting random following a girl, probably never going to come back to Nebraska, to now I feel like this is home. I love it. Been at Silverhawk for 11 years as of 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's shocking.
It. Yeah. Meet
so
like you.
Kelcey came out of nursing school at Bryan, went to work at Bryan, and she stayed there, must have been, 4 or 5 years before you guys started having kids, and she decided to stay home.
Correct.
Because she didn't work when Callum was born, right? And he's 5?
He did for a little bit. She did for a little bit. I don't know what I'm thinking. Edit. I know, right? Yeah, she did. So he was born June of 2020.
Okay.
And we were she was still going back to work a little bit.
I remember that.
And then it was just it was twofold. This is now where I was also I had a little more flexibility with my own time at Silverhawk. And now having a kid, and then the beginning of COVID, when everyone was still just running around, hair on fire, we're all going to die. And she's doing this whole and she was working nights too.
Right. I remember that.
And so it was just this horrible, something would come up. You guys would invite us to go somewhere. She's working. I'm taking off time to be with Callum while ever she's working. It was horrible. And just the protocol that was going into effect at work.
Right.
And so she was like, John, if you're okay and we can live, can I just stay home? I was like, yeah, thank God. Cause this is just the fun.
You needed to get back to the office to get some rest, because staying home with a newborn is heavy lifting.
And if I had to pick the worst day in the office, and I love my kids, or all day with kids, I'm picking the worst day in the office every day. I'm just made for that. And Kelcey's made for this staying at home. And so, yeah, she probably end of 2020 went PRN, actually. I think that's the right term. I don't even know what it stands for. But part-time.
Okay.
She went part-time, where she was only working so many days a quarter. But it still ended up Matt wants us to go somewhere, or friends want us to come somewhere, and we're missing a really cool trip just because you have to work 2 shifts. And is it really worth the $200 that you made that night, or whatever, that was all right, just stay home, take care of the kids. I'll go to work. We'll do what we want to do. And so, yeah, she's been staying at home ever since. And I think she loves it.
Well, she's good at it. Yeah. You have great kids.
She's great at it.
She seems to be happy, and all the way around.
Earn the brownie points back. Best stay-at-home mom ever.
Well, hands down.
Yeah.
So what's been your wildest experience flying a King Air?
Wildest experience?
Most hair-raising. The audience wants to know.
Of course. I've had a few. I'm now big chicken shit. I will fly. I mean, I get jokes from my pilot friends. They'll watch me if I fly a King Air and there's weather, and I'm going all the way around, right?
Why wouldn't you?
Right? There's been at least 3 times where I'm young, I'm dumb, I don't have kids yet. You shoot the gap. How bad's it going to be? You take off and you're like, you could have just waited a couple of hours. You're like, whatever. And it's dark and it's gray and it's bumpy and there's lightning and it's scary. And now I just don't do that anymore.
Well, nor should you. You have nowhere to be is that emergent.
It's that. Yeah. But so I think. Yeah.
So what are your other, any of them near the ground?
No. I thankfully, knock on all the wood, I've had no engine. I've just had no big emergencies. The only thing is ever been self-induced, where I try and skirt the storm too close or shoot the gap or whatever. But no, I don't think I've ever had a legit emergency or close call.
So I have so many friends I don't like small planes. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. But a King Air is a big plane.
Yeah.
Those are jet engines driving the thing. Yeah. And I mean, the reliability of the modern day jet engine is truly, it is a man-made marvel. Yeah. But it's like with sufficient airspeed, they do not fall out of the sky.
It's that. Agreed.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
So would you, based on your experience, do you want any of your kids to go down the path, being pilots, all of that? Do you ever take Callum up and fly with him? Lane's too young, but
yeah, he loves it. Yeah, they have been. Another just funny story. He went from a time where I probably flew 3 times before I was 18, before I started flying.
right.
That kid's been on more trips, as you imagine, or just random.
Absolutely.
We're doing a check ride, hop in the back. And he's gone back and forth on, do I like the airlines better? Do I like the daddy's planes better, or whatever. We just went to Scottsdale. We took an airline down. It was gonna be a fully airline trip. We go down and I'm just explaining to this 5-year-old, like, all right, so we gotta park and we gotta take this bus to there and then we gotta wait. And I'm just explaining the day because it goes better. And about halfway through, he's just like, Daddy, why can't we just take one of your airplanes? You drive out to the airplane, you hop on,
and you hop on, away you go.
And now I'm trying to explain to a 5-year-old that like that just isn't cost effective every time, and you're also pretty spoiled. And I don't want to raise a spoiled kid. Anyways, I don't know if I sent you the picture, but we get in the back, we get in like 5 minutes. We haven't taken off yet. Lady up here takes off her shoes, throws them over her husband.
Oh God.
Puts on the iPad, no earphones, full blast volume. I was just like, I wonder if we have any empty legs. So we did. Ended up coming on one of those on the flight back, and yeah, Callum was loved every.
A lot happier.
But no, now knowing what I know, and if they chose to be pilots, it's an excellent career. It's very different now
than it was.
To it.
Yeah.
Now you get the pilots that are starting at 6 figures. It's a great job. But I don't know. I want something else from them. I think you're traditional. When people think of pilots, you're missing a lot of holidays. You're
correct.
Weird times. Your circadian rhythm, or just everything.
It's always just kind of out of rhythm.
So no, I hope he does something else, but if he wanted to do it for fun, or if he wanted to do his profession, I'd support that. But I want him to do something to allow him to sit in the back.
Well, it's funny. I normally sit in the back, and I prefer being in front.
Yep. Yeah. Same.
And it's funny, as I get older, getting onto a commercial airplane, I don't necessarily think I can do it better than those guys. I think I can do it as well. And I like the idea of being partially in control.
Absolutely.
At least doing the radios and the NavCom.
I agree. Yep. I agree.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we're back to multiple subjects.
Yeah.
We have baby Matea coming, your first girl.
Yeah.
Your house is configured in such a way, which one of the kids is going to get moved downstairs?
I know. We have kids. This is where, of all the things, and I know it's ad lib. We're just going to see where the conversation goes. But I was wondering, kid stuff as a whole is obviously on my mind because it's just such a big thing, and we're having another one.
But you're going to get the snip. Anyway, keep going. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, I misspoke.
I have no idea. And so this is where I like my career path. Like a lot of our life, we just see how it goes. We're just going to figure it out. Right. And I like that.
I love it.
And it's worked so far. So we have a room downstairs made up for both boys.
Right.
Beds, the whole lot. This is probably as soon as Kelcey found out she got pregnant, was like, we're moving the boys downstairs, and started buying stuff and painting and got it set up. And it's amazing. They're young. I mean, will be 6 and 3.
Right.
And we tried it, and they're just not ready to be downstairs
yet.
But also, when you first get the baby, they usually don't stay in a separate room anyways. This can be by our side, waking us up all night. And so we're just going to see how it goes. Maybe we're going to have that kid in our room for a year, and then Callum and Lane are happy to go downstairs and can move to the other room. Maybe we're going to get a new house in the neighborhood that has all 4 bedrooms on the same floor. That's Kelcey's dream. I know. That's what she wants.
We keep showing you those, but you keep turning them down.
That's what Kelcey wants to do, is just find a new house that has 2 floors, 4 rooms on the top floor.
I love it. That's a great plan.
Maybe we're just going to have 5 of us and Teddy all sleep in the same bed for a couple of years. Who knows? We're just one day at a time,
Well, you know what? One day at a time. It's good to have a plan, but often the plans change and you have to be adaptable. Yeah. Will Kelcey ever go back to work, or will she just continue being the stay-at-home mom? Because you also homeschool. Yeah. And she, like I said, your kids are smart as whips, and she clearly does the lessons, all of that stuff.
Again, back to the who knows where life will take us. Right now, when she gets asked, not that way, but when are you going to go back to work? She laughs at them. Like, why would I go back to work? Like, I have my dream job. I get to raise my kids and I get to hang out and do whatever I want. Forever, I have no idea.
Do you have? I just lost my train of thought. It's a good question.
Yeah,
it's a better answer because it's true. I mean, the kids do better.
Yeah,
being able to be socialized, having the parents with them, because a lot of people have good things to say about LPS. Some maybe not so much. There are pros and cons to both, but every time I've been around your kids, they're extremely well socialized. So the argument against homeschooling being they don't get socialized, I sure don't see that, at least by the two Geary kids. Two plus, a partial.
Yes. Yeah. That again, that was not I was not homeschooled. She was not homeschooled. That was not the plan.
That wasn't the norm when we were growing up.
No, for sure. And that wasn't when we had kids. That wasn't we're going to be homeschool parents. It was probably a year or so ago when you start considering, do I do the preschool, or does he do kindergarten this year or next year, that we just started thinking about it. And I want to say that the first nudge was simply, we have the ability and we like to just go places.
Right.
I want to go see my parents in Colorado, or her parents, or
in McCook, your favorite place.
Yes,
garden spot of the earth.
Visit. And I don't want to have to always plan around school days,
right,
and vacations. I just want to be able to go. So that started it, and then Kelcey went down.
You don't want to be in a box.
No, I don't. And then Kelcey went down the deep end and every rabbit hole and every video of any pro and con. And it's funny because the most common con or question is always just, well, how are you going to socialize your kids? That's the only question. No one thinks about any other negative aside from that. But it's so true, especially if you have a good system, like you can get way more socialized. I'd rather have my kid be socialized by going to dinner with you than sitting with 30 other kids that are doing the 6-7 thing. I'm proud that my kid does not know that.
Yeah, well,
it's amazing.
Couldn't agree more.
And so things like that, I love it.
So do you have the kids like YMCA, soccer, baseball, football? Because Callum's just getting to the age where he can start doing that.
It's that. And I know Kelcey reached out to you guys at any of the fun groups or clubs or whatever, like we'll enroll. We have lots of friends with similar age kids, and
right,
they're hanging out. They also, just with the way it is nowadays, like Kelcey's part of a homeschool co-op.
Okay, sure.
30 kids, they get together every Friday and they plan some lesson and they do some outing and they're just out there socializing. And so it's both that, just normal us going to dinner tonight. We'll sign them up for every swim class,
right,
golf class, you name
tennis,
it.
all the good stuff.
Exactly.
Speaking of golf, how's your golf game?
So bad.
Oh, come on.
Although I just reached out to Jeff yesterday.
Oh, you're going to take lessons?
So I took one with him and then got busy. But the last lesson with him, he was like, well, John, you need longer clubs. Like you got the standard clubs and you need longer clubs. And so my takeaway from that was, well, obviously that's why I'm bad. And as soon as I get longer clubs, I'm going to be good again.
Well, it goes without saying.
Or good to start. And so, reached out to him last night to get my clubs. I guess you can just link them. I don't need to get all new shafts or anything. They have a little cap. Since it's just like a half an inch, they can just put a little cap. I don't know, the top end.
You need new clubs.
So probably. I'm excited. I'm excited for golf season.
Oh, I am too.
Get out there. Yeah.
So between your two courses that you play, Country Club versus Firethorn, which one's your favorite?
It's hard. I do think that
I don't like you like that, by the way.
I do think that pre-course renovation, it'll be a whole new.
It's going to be a brand new golf course.
I think that the golf course at Firethorn is more fun. There's just, I enjoy that.
It's really challenging.
It's very challenging. I also enjoy that, like some of the more popular courses you may go to, every hole seems like it's just that hole. Like it's not back to back. I hit on the next hole, which is just neat. Everything else, and this isn't a diss on either for whoever watches, the hospitality, the people, the experience out at Country Club, it just can't be matched.
Yeah, I mean they're radically different courses.
It is.
They are 6 miles apart, and it's like you went from one country to another.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, it goes without saying, you have a professionally designed Pete Dye course at Firethorn. It's a championship length course. Country club built on 106 acres. There's different animals.
It's different. Yep.
But like you said, both of them have huge pros. Yeah. Both of them have a couple of cons.
I lose a lot less balls at country club. So,
Well, and we have a mutual friend or two that they have hit it out of bounds on every hole on the country club course. And by contrast, I am one of them where I have lost balls on every course or every hole at Firethorn.
Oh, 100%. Everyone.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of fun. And the fact of the matter is, it's little old Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah. And to have those courses is really, and the other one that's a lot of fun, great course, underappreciated is Hillcrest.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's just shocking. Little old Lincoln, Nebraska. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So going back to Silverhawk, you guys, you sold off the FBO. Yeah. You've retained the charter. How is that going? I mean, you're kind of making some changes. Are you getting more and more people flying private? Is it staying static? I know there was a big spike during COVID. It normalized or regressed to the mean, if you prefer the term. But the overall trend from everything I read, overall, there is continuing to be more private flight.
For sure. Yeah. And again, this is, we've talked about it. This hours and hours that I can go into this. So we sold off the non-charter bit once.
So for the audience,
yeah,
that really means you sold off, pardon the expression, the gas station for airplanes.
Correct.
You sold off the mechanical repair, maintenance, upgrades, hangar, fuel, and purely charter.
Yep, that's all we do now.
Okay.
And we did that. So it was April 21. And 2020 was just the weird year for aviation as a whole.
Like absolutely. Salaries went way up because there wasn't the supply of pilots. Everybody, the airlines were shut down.
But yeah. But I was just going kind of the hours demand. Like 2020, throw that out as a weird.
Yeah, it's an outlier.
Obviously, there was a couple months where just no one flew, period.
Right.
2021, it rebounded hard.
Right.
In a good way. Everyone was flying charter. People that, and I think about our community, people that had the money but just chose not to would now elect to fly privately because it meant maybe just some safety in their own head. Like I'd rather fly with just 9 people,
right?
200 people.
Correct.
Airlines were just a mess. They were canceling everything.
I would say it was terrible.
It's that. And so we had, I don't have the number in front of me, but I want to say that and again, take out some weirdness, we had traditionally had some 15 to 20% year over year growth in hours. And 21, if you just kind of look at what a linear 21, what 2020 would have been, it was like 43% growth.
Oh, wow.
In that 1 year. And 2022 was probably the biggest because there's still some weird places were shut down and people were traveling everywhere. 2022 was the gangbuster year. Everyone flew, probably the most hours we've ever flown still, for all the reasons. And yeah, where you were starting to go down. And so now pilots, their salaries had to double.
Right. Oh my God.
In a year.
So from 35 to 70.
So I think at the time starting captains were in the 65 grand. And so went from 65 to 120 overnight.
Holy buckets.
And that was just the airlines let go or allowed early retirement for a third of all their airline pilots. And that worked.
That was a knee jerk because they were worried it was never going to rebound. And
then it came back and they're like, shit.
Now what have we done?
Now. And so the airlines were offering crazy $100,000 hiring bonuses. Like we couldn't keep up on top of.
By the way, they never called me for a hiring bonus.
Me neither. I know.
Bastards.
I know. So yes, we went through this is amazing. Most
love life.
Life is good. We're making hay. To then all of a sudden, and our programs, and some of this, but most of our clients are locked into some sort of fixed pricing, whether it be for a year or 5 years or somewhere in between. And so if overnight your pilot cost,
your input cost doubles, your margin just disappears.
Fuel went
through the roof.
And so,
replacement parts, mechanics, their salaries doubled. Everything
was horrible.
Otherwise known as a headwind.
Correct. And so you're sitting there with fixed contracts and you're sitting there and you're just looking, you're like,
now what do we do?
Every hour I fly is at a loss or break even. And so, definitely had a few hard years, 23, 24, of just trying to restabilize all of that.
Right.
And I think a lot of, other business owners, I think that was a similar thing for
Yeah.
lots of different businesses.
Yep. Totally agree.
And it finally, 2025, so 5 years later, I feel like just everything,
finally has normalized.
And the different input costs, everything you're talking about is finally stabilized.
Good news.
And so, yes, 2025 was a great year again.
26 shaping up to be another great year.
It is. It's just the joke of like, what next? What other surprises around the corner? What strait gets shut off and gas prices come up 20%? Whatever.
Like this past weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? But yes, compared to weird after COVID, I think everything is my happiest part is just thinking back to those years, the demand and the pilots. Pilots are by far the hugest, largest
variable
expense.
Yeah.
And variable. And so we would have months that would go from 600 hours of flying to 1,000 hours of flying.
Oh boy.
And how do you plan for that?
Right.
Whereas now,
how do you staff for it? How do you plan for it? I mean,
exactly.
It's short, intermediate, and long-term impacts.
Yes. And so finally, both the demand has stabilized, but then also we changed a lot of different business models. And so we have a good group of contract pilots. So we have our base pilots.
Right.
And then if it gets busy, we can flex up. Are we good on time, or am I boring you?
Not at all. Quite the contrary. So you've also transitioned away from fractional ownership to more of a jet card. Is that working?
It is.
Great?
Yep.
Is that because the consumer likes the idea of the variability of an aircraft? For example, if it's just, a husband and wife, they want to take a smaller, a little bit more economical, but they also want to have the ability to take a big group and have a bigger plane, even though it's more costly.
The jet card's certainly the most common for all the reasons. The fractional, so we're getting ready to roll out a 2.0. I think we've actually started some marketing. It's hard to do, and it's, if buying a jet card or that class of people is already this small, then of course buying a portion of an airplane is
smaller.
But there'll always be that need. People want to buy an airplane because they fly enough to justify it. They need depreciation.
So they get a tax benefit from it.
But it's also just, there's not, last I looked, there's only a dozen or so total operators in all of America that can do the fractional ownership. It's just hard. And I also just think, like, there's, aside from the hard, there's probably a reason for that. It's hard when you're locking in a 5-year contract, how to protect yourself in every way while also still offering an attractive product, right?
Right.
So we think we did that. We'll see what the people think of it. But we at least have an offering.
So how many aircraft in your fleet available for, a slob like me staggering in off the street?
21.
So where's that rank you relative to other charter companies? I mean, you've got to be on the top end of the range, at least top quartile, if not top 10%, 5%.
Top 1%, 0.1%. I'm trying to do the math on that. So there's like 2,100 total operators out there. They base it on flight hours.
Okay.
And
how many flight hours do you guys get on a trailing 12 month? Now that's normal. How much?
9,000.
9,000 hours in a year.
Yeah, which puts us at 29 for last year. We're 29.
29 out of 2,100. Yeah. Wow, dude! Congratulations.
I know. Thank you.
Big league operation.
Yeah. In Lincoln, Nebraska.
Home of Maude Bless America Studios.
I know.
And Silverhawk Aviation.
Yes, I know.
I love it. Do you want a nipple for that so you can nurse it some more? This is way below your normal intake.
I haven't had food yet.
And you haven't vaped either. Now, and by the way, now it's turning into some sort of Pavlovian thing where I'm saying, do you want to vape? And see if I can get you to start salivating or drooling or just pull the thing out. Going back to your golf.
Yeah.
Do you still golf barefoot? Or is that more of an indicator of your BAC?
No. So if I could, and right now, I don't even know what time it is.
Do you have shoes on?
I do.
But give all things being equal, you'd take them off. 100%. But for the fact it's March 2nd and it is Lincoln, Nebraska.
These are tiny feet prisons. I have to wear them 10 hours a day, every day. And I don't want to. And so when it's...
would you like to take your shoes off?
No. It's just,
you can take your shoes off.
I appreciate that.
By the way, can you reach behind you, grab one of those glasses?
Yeah.
Can you pour that business out of that glass and put it into that one? I just want to
one pour.
All in one pour. Don't spill. But then you have to have a little swiggy so that we can see if you can tell a difference in the glassology.
Oh, I should have sniffed them too.
Well, you can still sniff it.
The glassology.
I just totally made that up.
Yeah.
It tastes different.
Feels nice in the hand.
It does. It tastes a little better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
Thank
does.
you.
I think it does.
Okay, now that you've done your sniffies, now that you've sniffied, you can take your shoes off because we don't need foot prisons for you.
Can
I just said yes, you
this
can.
Is where
and here's the best part.
Yeah.
Now let's see how the conversation flows.
It smells.
Well, that's why we had you sniff early.
Well,
and you've got nice socks. Do you want those off too?
No. I just hate. This is.
You don't like to be constrained.
I don't. Well, and yeah, this is the. So again, not that I have to like really dress up, but I got to wake up and I put on the clothes and I
war paint
the part. And so when I'm not at work or entertaining clients or trying to get business, I want to be comfy.
I don't blame you.
I want to go shoeless. And
do you want me to go get you a robe?
No. I don't want to be that comfy. What? Like sweatpants, good sweatpants, and
I can get you sweatpants.
Comfy hoodie. It's just.
I can get you an entire sweat ensemble.
Oh, this is perfect. This feels so much better.
Perfect.
I'm glad this came up.
What would you like to talk about?
What would I like to talk
about? Well, now that you're ill-constrained, you're no longer contained or ill-constrained.
So
let's let you lead the conversation, JG.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah. My most recent, we're also talking about kids. So my most recent thought is, how do you raise kids privileged but not spoiled? And I'm hoping you can give me some on-air feedback that a lot of people will appreciate. And here's my most recent example. I came from very loving parents that gave me more than they ever had, should have given me. But we came from we're a very normal family, blue collar workers. And now that, so I'm not used to my kid asking me why we can't take a private jet. Like that's something I never thought I'd be on a private jet.
But for the record, your parents were not pilots of any airplane.
Correct.
Nor did they own one.
Correct.
So you technically don't own one, but you are the CEO of a company and you're a part owner of a company that happens to own aircraft.
Correct.
So it's a whole different animal. Not so much privilege. I mean, the corollary, Kelcey.
Yeah.
She grew up, her dad's a farmer. A lot of families, kids have never seen, much less driven a tractor.
Yeah.
She can go drive a tractor.
That's
and
fair.
She would say, hey, can we, get a tractor?
Yep.
Same thing. It's not necessarily privileged or spoiled. It's just a function of the way their life is. They don't know any different.
That's fair.
So the answer to your question is, asking to fly a private jet versus a commercial jet privileged? Is it spoiled? Is it outside the norm? I don't know that I can answer that. I traveled for work.
Yeah.
I saw about every walk of life over the years on aircraft. And I think from when I was a little kid, and off the top of my head, I think I was 5 or 6 the first time I ever flew on an airplane. I've loved airplanes since I can remember.
Yep.
But I remember just possibly having to be sedated. I was so excited to be on the thing. I remember my dad just like, God damn it, just sit still. But I was so excited I was about to pop.
That's awesome.
But the other part of it is, back then, and I'm obviously way older than you, it was not as ubiquitous as it is. And it was like the most special thing. My parents were so excited, like, we get to go on an airplane.
Yep.
Whereas now, again, the cost has gotten driven down to the point where, for a while, Southwest really was a discount airline. And everybody talks about how, oh my God, I took XYZ flight on Southwest and it was $29. It was affordable to everybody. Whether they chose to use it or not, it's a different animal. But my point is, the cost of flying has been driven down for so many Americans that I don't think it's a privilege per se or spoiled to get onto a private air or onto a commercial airplane. It might be, but across the broader spectrum, I don't know that it is nearly as unattainable as it seemed like it was. I mean, my parents, they expected us to write a thank you note for the privilege of being able to go. And back then it was Pan Am.
Absolutely.
And I remember thinking, man, this is a privilege. I really thought my poop didn't stink.
Yeah.
And is what it is. So I guess that, I mean, if it were like my kids to go on a private airplane, same thing. They thought they were shitting in high cotton, excuse the editorial. And that's the other part. Like, guys, not everybody gets to do this. This is a rare as hen's teeth experience. We were fortunate because it happened to be an empty leg, and we're paying for the fuel, and it's about the same cost as it would be to fly on United or American or Delta. But the experience was invaluable. Once they did it, of course, they thought that was how it was going to be all the time. Like, this isn't how it works, guys. Yes. But I think it's like everything else. There has to be humility. There has to be gratefulness. There has to be a conversation about why you should be grateful, why this isn't how normal life works. And the other side is, this is a little bit of a reward for really working hard. Yeah. And my kids, by that point, they worked hard in school, and that really was their job. Sure. They had chores around the house, and by and large, they did a pretty darn good job doing the chores. Once, you had to kind of watch them. You had to do all this. It's not like you could literally just be on autopilot, but pardon the pun. Yeah. But it was, like I said, all the stars aligned. It worked out. That's probably the only time it's ever happened for him. Yeah. And it was sheer luck, but it was the same thing. It was a long conversation. And so I don't know that I would say, I would say in that scenario, my kids were spoiled. Yeah. They were also privileged, and, with conversation, I think they also had appreciation for the fact that those stars aligned, and that it was in part a reward for just doing good stuff. And, they also saw it was sheer luck. Like, hey, it's not the worst thing to be, this guy that got lucky on this occasion. So I think it's like everything else. You talk with them, you explain the pros, the cons, and why it's a privilege, why it's spoiled. Yeah. The thing that I find kind of fascinating, I would argue I would use the term entitled versus spoiled, because I think therein lies potentially a bigger lesson. Yeah. The majority of us don't really get the experience or the capability of truly spoiling our kids. There's just so much money to go around, and there are so many demands for that money before you get to the point of spoiling. But it's the notion, as you look at it, every younger kids, I will see them with a cell phone. Mm-hmm. And what the cell phone can do compared to the very first one I had back in the dark ages. Yeah, it literally was like this deal, and it was huge, and they called them portable, and it was more of a luggable, and you could make a phone call, and you didn't have to be connected to a landline. And that was unbelievable. And, that was kind of the logical step, because I also remember thinking that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen, a cordless phone. Oh yeah. Like, wow, that is really a big league deal. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, we had a landline that was part of a party line. So people could hear your conversation, you could hear theirs. And if you needed to make a call, it'd be like, hey, Mrs. Smith, can you please hang up so I can quick make this call? And that's awesome. Sometimes she'd chew you out like, no, I'm talking and it's my blah, 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 blah. And like, but the advancements are just crazy. Yeah. And it goes like airplanes. I mean, the cost of a phone has been driven down so dramatically, but now it's like, do the kids really need a smartphone? Yeah. I want an iPhone, which is a smartphone. Well, for what you actually need, if in fact I were truly worried about you being safe, I could get you a what do they call them on a burner phone. Yeah. Literally, you flip it open, and all it can do is dial, and it can take in a call. But beyond that, you're not texting, you're not surfing the web, you're not on Snatch Chat and Instagram and all that junk. But the sense that I have to have it because all these other kids, that's where I think it's an entitlement that is borderline spoiled.
It's that. Well, we talk about that all the time, and I think that we're years away from that. Although our nephew has a phone at 8 years old or 9 years old, whatever it is.
Oh my God.
That blows my mind. We will not be, I say that now, but we'll not be that. But yeah, it's insane. And the smaller scale that came to mind just this weekend. Callum loves Legos. I love doing Legos. That's a fun.
Oh, that's a great. I totally agree.
It's great. But he'll ask every day, Dad, can we get a Lego? And I'm just like, well, I don't really have a good reason to say not to. I get this is good father-son time. But there's part of it that's just like, I just don't feel like I should tell my kid yes every time he asks. And I don't. And he doesn't throw a tantrum. So, okay, I don't think he's entitled. But what's the logic behind it? Like, where's the is one Lego a week okay, but two's too many? Is just those.
Well, why don't you flip it around? Why don't you not buy one of the prefab kits so you know what it's going to be?
Let's take it
like
apart.
like as a little kid.
Yeah.
We just, my sister and brother had them, and I kind of inherited them, and I got a few more, but they were just blocks. Yep. They're different colors and different sizes, and the idea was you go build whatever you felt like. And that, there were some common things that got done, but you'd see something. I remember back then you'd see occasionally in catalogs like, wow, that looks cool. And you try and build them like, oh, I'm missing this or missing that. But it was more the inspiration. Yeah. And that was your creative vehicle for sure. Just like, Callum likes to draw. He likes to, I've got still at my office, I've still got his cardboard with macaroni glued to it. And that's the same thing. I think the answer to your question isn't so much whether it's one or two or per week or month or day. It's, let's flip it. I'm not buying another kit for you to make. I'm going to buy you I'm going to go to eBay. I'm going to buy a used box of Legos. You got to figure out what you're going to make. Yeah. And have fun. And that, my guess is he's a creative young man. He would absolutely love that. Yeah. It would take a little getting going. Like, well, there's no directions. There's no picture for me to look at. What am I going to do? And use your imagination. You're going to use your imagination. But it goes back to when I don't know why I was having this conversation with a coworker who's he grew up next door as adults to a young man I grew up next door to when we were just little kids. Mm-hmm. And it's so funny. I mean, God, I remember as soon as we got home, we were immediately on our bikes, or when it was winter, it was a lake that froze. We ice skated like maniacs. And we were gone until basically, when whoever the first kid's mom started ringing the bell to come home for dinner, we all had to scamper home. After dinner, we had to do homework, and then we could watch TV. But the whole family had to watch because there was one TV and there was, there were 3 channels. But the other part, I mean, we didn't have fences. Everybody's backyard was part of the playground. And honestly, we were little roving maniacs, and the games were always the imagination. So our family had a little basketball court we shared with the other family. Sometimes we played basketball. Sometimes we played horse. Sometimes we played 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. We played street hockey out there when the lake wasn't frozen. We also swam like maniacs in that freaking lake, which I'm not sure was our best move in hindsight. It was not the cleanest body of water, but
you survived.
We survived. And where I'm going, it's an overarching conversation where prefab entertainment really needs to go the way of the dodo bird and go back to the creativity that the kids don't require a device to be entertained. Sometimes the brain is what you have, and you're limited only by your creativity, whether it's hide and seek. We had a game, Ditch 'em. It was basically a variation on Capture the Flag. In the summer, Saturday nights, as soon as it was dark, the whole all those damn kids running around through multiple yards. In hindsight, I get it. My parents and their friends loved it. All of us kids, all these different ages, we ran like we were exhausted and slept. And, it was safe. You weren't worried about this or that. But I think really a large part of it became the advent of the fence. All of a sudden, the whole big playground became just your yard. And if the ball went over the fence, then you had to go, and you didn't really get to know your neighbors. You don't get to know your neighbor kids. But, the swing set. Well, you could go swing, but there were all sorts of games played on that. Not all of them the smartest. I'm sure you did the one with the little, how far can you jump off of the thing? How high can you get? How far can you jump? And I don't think any of us broke our leg, but I think one kid maybe broke a wrist or something like that. Like, all right, not our smartest, but it was still a hell of a lot of fun. Yeah. Climbing trees. Yeah. Where I'm leading up to is those events, you hear it now, you can be spoiled getting to have those types of experiences. Yeah. It's a privilege in hindsight. I was spoiled getting to have those experiences. Definitely never knew I was entitled to just be able to be a goddamn kid and run around like a maniac. But if we got in trouble, we got sent to our room. We didn't have video games or any of that. If you wanted to be entertained, you had to read while you're waiting around for dad to get home to spank you because you really screwed up. But that same thing. I mean, just picking up a book, even my kids, it's funny. They're getting better about it. But most of them, they still go for an electronic device before they just go for a plain old book.
Yeah.
And that, in hindsight, we should have been a little more adamant. You have to do this. Just same thing. It just stimulates the brain. But like I said, it's a philosophical response, and it's very long-winded.
No,
but it's derived from experience.
Yeah.
I mean, in your case, that was the other thing. We got to go fishing. Our parents basically, there is no reason for you to come and tell me you're bored. That's your problem. It's not mine. And it's like, I remember at the time being kind of annoyed, but you always figured out something to do. And so, we fished like maniacs. There was always something to do. Yeah. And when it came down to, I'm not going to just be your entertainment. I'm not going to give you a device for you to be entertained. You had to figure it out yourself. In hindsight, that was a great gift.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. And there's so many tangents from there. I'm on the reading. So Saturday night, we went to dinner at the club. Kelcey goes home. Lane was already asleep. Noelle is still the best babysitter ever.
Hands down. Hands down.
So Lane's asleep. Kelcey and Callum are reading Mr. Popper's Penguins.
Oh, classics.
Great. And like, usually it's both kids and we're all reading together, and the kids are fighting over who picked out which book, and is daddy going to read or is mommy going to read, and it's just this whole thing. Callum felt like just the king. It was just him. And it was just can we read one more chapter? Can we read one more chapter? Which is just amazing. Like that's what I hope continues. More than any TV show, more than anything.
Absolutely.
We were down in Scottsdale. I sent you some of those pictures. We'd go to the zoo and he'd ask for a toy. And this is, again, me trying to figure out the parenting of, do you always say yes, no? How do you go through that? And I was like, I'll let you pick. You get a toy, or do you want to go on another hike? And he picked the hike every time. I was like, okay, all right.
There we go.
We're doing good.
Right.
And yeah, that's also going back to the homeschooling thing. 5-year-old boys are not meant to spend 8 hours in a classroom.
No.
Especially at that level and that curriculum. Like Kelcey can get through the whole school day in an hour. And then he's out catching fish and chasing butterflies and doing whatever else he wants to do. But yeah, that's
being able to fill your day creatively and productively.
Yeah.
That too has a huge lesson.
Absolutely.
At some point, the one that they probably don't tell her to teach is critical thinking.
Oh yeah.
But with that, I'm going to wrap it up.
Okay.
This has been terrific. Thank you so much. It has flown by. You got to come back. Yeah. You can't leave without signing the deal. And you can't leave without that being gone.
Drink. Okay.
You got to finish the drink.
All right.
Don't forget your shoes.
Yes.
We don't want the toes ill-constrained.
Yes.
But in the meantime, JG, thank you for being here.
Thanks,
as always, enjoy my time. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We're available on social media. I can't remember what it is. I'm supposed to announce it. You might know what it is.
Facebook, Snap.
I don't think I have Facebook.
I don't have that. Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all the good stuff. Cheers.